What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Neo Scavenger. I forgot what I was doing for a second. I was looking right at the screen and I was like, what is this game called? I have no recollection of what this game's name is. But I pulled it out in the end. Eventually, I've noticed that if I just keep going and I don't stop and I don't hesitate, eventually my brain will probably just fill in the details. It'll more than likely be okay. So in this episode, we are going to continue exploring just around. I mean, there's a lot of areas I've never been on this map, and frankly, I always felt like the map was kind of empty once you started getting out of like the main area where you're supposed to be in order to beat the game. So we'll have a look around. How far are we from Gyges right now? Just as a, oh, we're actually pretty far west of it. All right, Camp Grayling's up there. We've got a lot of the positions already taken out. I think I'll probably go, I want to see if I can find the isotope mine. The isotope mine is either like, I think it's down here somewhere, I think. I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure it's down there somewhere. I'm not positive, but I'm also far from negative. So, frankly, if we can make this whole thing work, I think that we'll have an electric situation on our hands. Let me search this real fast. Oh, it's almost nighttime again. Really? How long did we walk for? I don't feel like I walked that long. Either way, it looks like we've just about tapped ourselves out. So, let's eat some food. I'm going to drink some bad water so I don't have to use up my water. And let's have a look. Alright, well I'm just going to head kind of like roundabout back to Gyges. We'll loot stuff along the way if we can. But mostly I just want to be, where's a good spot to camp? I don't want to be next to blind. There we go, that's a good spot. So we'll probably wait it out right here. Maybe? Unless I can't make it. A few more blind spots. I'll probably stick this out right here. This seems to be good. Like, hey, don't stick me out. Stick you out. I'm like, well, it's safer to stick you out. I mean, hey, it is what it is. You're an inanimate concept, a digital map that does not technically exist outside the confines of the interwebs and your digital world. How does that make you feel? You're like, no, you didn't say that I didn't have a soul, though, so I feel pretty good about it. How crazy would that be if we invented an AI that at a certain point was, like, self-sentient? At which point, you could, like, argue that once it was self-aware and it was, like, able to rationally make decisions based on, like, ethics and other weird things, that, like, does it have a soul? Be kind of weird. It's a weird question to have. Very odd question to have. I mean, it always bugs me in sci-fi movies when they're mean to the android because they're just like, oh, it's just like a machine. Who cares? That always upsets me, and the android is always upset about it, too. There we go. That's the kind of shit that I need to find right there. That backpack is not in great shape. The alcohol is nice to have, though, so I'll take it. We're a little bit parched, so I'll probably drink up both of these right now and then ditch them just to get rid of some weight. There it is. We're losing weight off of our pack by drinking fatty drinks. That's how we do it right there. Probably the first person in history ever to lose weight by drinking soda. Alright, so we'll go continue to look. We should probably handle our thirst pretty soon just because it is going to be negatively affecting our ability to continue. So let me drink some of my good water here. There's bad water right there. I'll stick with the good stuff. I'll stick with the good stuff. Try and get that back up as high as possible. This is the downside to taking the metabolism trait. Is that over time you sort of like run out of moves, and the church door swings idly on its remaining hinge. Inside, a gaunt priest is trying to light a fire. He has that long distance stare, eyes that look through whatever he's doing. The mess inside seems to indicate he's been here for a long, long while. How has he survived this long? A discarded blue sash provides a clue. He's a frogger. Even looters show respect to that lot. There are a lot of them out there, enough to watch out for their own. This one's a grade A proselytizer, no doubt. He's giving every indication of launching into a sermon. Let's see here. I don't know if I should steal from the church. I can fight. I've talked to him before and like become a frogger. You can actually, if you can follow this through, he'll induct you to the frog church, and then you can go up and become like their prophet. You become their messiah, essentially, and it's pretty hilarious. But in doing that, you're virtually guaranteed to catch the blue rod if you haven't had it yet. I mean, we could ask to help him. I mean, he hasn't tried to kill us or anything, or we could loot the church. Let's just see what happens. While the old man threatens all manner of nonsense, you pick your way through the piles of junk scattered all over. Most of it is just rubbish, not unlike the polluted river of words issuing from his mouth. Your ears are starting to hurt by the time you come upon the box. It's small, like the one used for cigars or stationery, but it feels like there's something inside. Cracking it open, something sharp stabs you, and you recoil with a shout. Damn, what was that? Examining the wound, you find a sharpened fork, its tines puncturing your skin. It looks dirty, too, like something's coating it. The priest has changed his tune, visually satisfied by your misfortune. That asshole, you give him a solid shove, knocking him into a pile of trash, and he starts up with the ranting again. Better be something useful inside. So am I poisoned? What happened to me? It said it was coated with something. Hope it's not like dog shit or anything. That would suck. just in case. Let's go ahead and... That's an old trick to fight your enemies. You take like punji sticks and put them down in the ground, and you rub like dog shit or like just about any refuse, to be honest, all over it, and it'll make sure that virtually guarantees that the person's foot's going to get infected after they step on it. And if you're in an area where antibiotics are not available, or in a time period where antibiotics are not available, you've essentially long-term killed that person. Unless they amputate. But yeah, it's brutal. You can give them all kinds of like necrotizing fasciitis and ridiculous stuff. I don't know if you can get that actually from a punji covered in dew, but I'd figure it's probably not something we want to test out. Let me empty you out, amigo, and we're going to dress this thing as best we can. I'd rather not take chances with it. I'd really rather not. I'm not going to bring all these band-aids with me. In fact, when I reload all this stuff out... Oh, good, we have amoxicillin too. Okay. So I'll throw those in there. I don't need the other amoxicillin bottle, and I'm not really too interested in bringing along more clean rags. It's just extra weight that I have to carry around, and they are pretty heavy, all things considered. I've never gotten that event before. That was pretty fun. I like it when I find new events. We got some boxes. We've got ourselves some black cargo pants. Sure. Throw those in my pocket. We've got ourselves a busted shoe. Everything else is looking pretty terrible. We've got a Zolpidem Pharmacon, so I think that's sleeping pills, as I recall. Either way, keep on scavenging. Just keep on hustling. There's lots of stuff to find. And before we end up anywhere else, I would love... Where are the Allegan Fairgrounds as well? I like to go back up there, and I guess I'll give it a shot. I don't want to die. Like, I'm pretty sure there's an instant death thing in there somewhere if you click the wrong prompts. But I think I remember what it was. I think. I'm not positive. It's still a little bit sketch. It's a little bit sketch. I'm going to replace this 7 stack of stones with a 10 stack. Because 7 stacks are not suitable. 7 unsuitable stacks. Ooh, I think we got the good start of like a tongue twister right there. 7 unsuitable stacks. What is this guy? He's got a medic container. Be ye friend or be ye foe? He's a bad mother, so he's foe. Let's go ahead. He's suppressed, behind cover, stunned, and bleeding. I'm going to sneak towards him. Dun 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 dun. Oh, he doesn't know we're here yet. We got a sneak attack on him. Okay, that's good. Hooray for ranged weapons! He's going to die in just a second anyways. Just let him do it. He's totally going to bleed out any second now. Fine. 1 rock. There. That'll finish the job. A singular strike. He's got... Man, your med kit was supposed to be full of medical stuff. What are you doing right now? Got ketchup packets, though. I like ketchup packets. That'll work. Emptying all that out. Doesn't look like there's anything I want. Is the med kit in decent shape? What kind of shape is it in? 38%. Not worth bringing. A pox upon you, med kit. Oh, that's already at 59%. That's unfortunate. That's a little bit weak and whack. So I need to get back on track and maybe prepare to get another travois. You try and time it right. That's the thing, is you really try and time it right so that when you arrive, none of those look like they're going to be that valuable. Keep moving. Keep on moving. I don't think I need to like waste time going into town right now. Ooh, there is a little building down here though. That'll work. I'll take it. I'll take it. Ooh, a bunch of shacks in the forest. Hell yeah. What you got? Backpack. What else you got? Come on. No whammies. No whammies. Stop. And it looks like whoever lived here was either a prolific butcher or otherwise. Well, he's a backpacking butcher. Everybody's got to earn a living, I guess. Got some more bullets right there just in case you want them. I've got the backpack right there, which I think I will bring along with me. Go ahead and stack those back in along with the tarps. But yeah, now we're double fisting backpacks right now. I can hear all the backpacks in the crowd getting all excited. They're like, usually I have to Google to find something like this. I'm like, wow, you have to Google for that? I know of all kinds of backpack porno websites. No, I don't actually. Backpack-related porn seems like it would be a really niche industry to be in. It seems... I have a hard time believing that self-sustaining cash flow would come along willingly and readily in that particular avenue. It might take a while. It might take a while to break even on that investment. Convincing the stockholders. It might take a bit. There we go. We got some food up in here. Let's go ahead and get our thirst nice and slaked. Eat those. Are those edible? They are indeedly doodly. On this side, 3 more of them, and then a couple more of them. Yeah, we're feeling pretty good right now. I'll make a fire eventually and purify this water, but I'm a lazy asshole, so I've been putting it off. Let's swing on down. I think the isotope mine's down here somewhere. Like, I remember going south one time, and there was, like, a guy with, like, a robot tiger or something. And since we haven't done this in this playthrough, I'm trying to make this as all-encompassing as possible. There it is. That's the one. It's a little threatening, but we'll go for it. Climbing a barren hill, you notice a trail heading off into a narrow ravine. Moisture-loving slime clings to the walls, plastic detritus eddies and swirls. Off to one side, you notice a pile of bones. The large cracked skull reminds you of a moose. At least that's what you think it is. Ragged, battered bones bleached, a pair of men's trousers snagged on a bush nearby. Died eating tainted meat? Wouldn't be the first to fight the maggots for a piece of rotting animal flesh, you'd wager. The ravine walls pinch in like the lips of an angry, disapproving spouse. Ducking under an overhanging rock, you realize how vulnerable you are. Trapped in the narrow gut of the ravine and unable to climb the slippery, slime-covered walls, you're easy prey. Maybe that's how they got the moose. Then you notice a sign. It's hard not to. Hand-painted letters on weathered boards, head height and hammered into a rustic door. Isotope mine, beware of the tiger. Let's go ahead and try and sneak in. You sneak up to the door and reach forward to push the door open. The door hasn't seen oil for a long time as the hinges grown louder than your belly. Hopefully those inside mistook it for the wind. Cursing the alien hinges, you push the door back closed and creep forward. The lobby is rectangular, empty. Rough-hewn rock walls ooze discolored water that drips down into stagnant pools on the floor. The lighting is poor, but you can easily make out another door at the far end as a bright light peeks out from under. There appear to be a lot of dark stains on the ground and decaying organic matter plastered to the walls, and it smells bad. Well, we only have athletic. Springing forward in a burst of adrenaline, you sprint for the door. Mid-stride, you're forced to swerve as a large animal unexpectedly lunges towards you from a concealed alcove. Desperately trying to sidestep its slashing fangs, you briefly wonder if you've fallen down the rabbit hole. That's a damn saber-toothed tiger. Feet skidding on the wet floor, you trip and slam into the angular wall. Momentarily stunned, you fling yourself backwards as the tiger, mouth agape, lashes at your throat. Regaining your footing, still dazed, you violently half run and half stumble for the door. Behind the door is the light safety. You must reach the door. Sweaty palms grasp at the door handle and madly yank it open. Falling through, you kick out wildly. The door slams shut just as the saber-toothed tiger crashes into it. Panting, gasping, you concentrate on staying still and calming your racing heartbeat. Looking around, you're surprised to find yourself in a large, clinically white, well-lit room. Dials, shelves, and instrumentation are arrayed in neat rows along the walls. Disheveled signs of human habitation everywhere else. Before you is a short, owlish man dressed in a dirty laboratory coat, peering through Coke bottle glasses. Radiation dosimeters cover the chest, or his chest, all tinted deeply red. I don't know what a dosimeter is, or a dosimeter? I don't know. Bending, he offers you an oil-stained hand. Struggling to your feet, you gather your thoughts. Bob, says the radiated mole, introducing himself. Damn tiger ain't been working proper for days. Bad for business. Bob seems more concerned with the tiger than your well-being. Old Gertrude's mine. Saber-toothed tiger, made her myself. Bob waves his hands, encompassing most of the well-equipped room. Surprising what you can rig with the right kit and plenty of your time in your hands. Saw a fancy version once in a museum, made myself a copy. Metal version. Trouble is, certain folks just don't get it. Get that I provide a desirable service to the locals. Don't like what I do. Bob picks up a modified soup can and tosses it over to you. You see that? RTG power cell. Couple of thermocouples hooked up to a Pew 238 isotope. Hot bricks, I call them. Enough power to keep the lights on till winter. Dubiously, you inspect the can. You see wires inside, a standard power connection on the base. It feels warm to the touch. Pu-238, as in plutonium? Yeah, that's right. Some customers don't like the side effects. Tell them that I live here. Ain't done me no harm. Made me an animatronic tiger to deal with the angry ones. The Avon lady don't knock on my door no more, you know what I mean? Bob bursts into a fit of wheezing, asthmatic laughter. So tell me, fella, why are you here, huh? Want to touch my hot bricks? His voice darkens. Or are you out to take what's mine, huh? He rests his hand on a nearby rifle. Had plenty of those type lately. Looters, bandits, and of course, none of them made it past Gertrude out there. Or maybe you're one of those good Samaritan types then. Can't see no halo, though. Bob peers at you suspiciously. Sure you ain't want to give me... Sure you ain't one of them government people? Bob becomes nervous, eyes bulging. That thorium reactor downstairs, never touched it and never will. All that radiation therapy stuff, it's still there. His tone becomes more agitated. You covered this place up and abandoned it, so I might have borrowed some isotopes. What of it? Eyes about to pop. Radiation Bob wheels the rifle, pointing it menacingly. Huh, buddy, what you gonna do about it? Ain't got no time for government. I definitely don't think. Hurriedly, you reassure Bob that you weren't a customer, looter, nor government agent. In fact, you inform him in your most sincere and placating voice that you were here to help. Is that so? Like a punctured balloon, Radiation Bob visibly deflates. You'll have to excuse my country manners then. Ever since I collected up those isotopes from downstairs, I haven't been myself. He taps. If he said air, he would have said I ain't been myself. That would be it. But anyways, he taps the dosimeters pinned to his chest. That big old reactor's leaking, I reckon. Had to weld the door shut to protect my manhood. Say, You wouldn't happen to know anything about computers, would you? I think Gertrude's brains are scrambled outside my expertise. Ask about the power cell. Oh, he says distracted. Then he becomes more animated. Oh, yeah, you mean the hot bricks? Sure, sure. Think I got a spare around here somewhere. Boxes are pushed about, papers displaced. What you got to offer? You have my night vision goggles. I find tons of those. I think that'll work, he says, handing you the cell. He starts looking for a good place to put your payment and ultimately just places it in a container on the counter. Turning back to you, how about old Gertie? Think you can help her? He adds, be a real help, you know. We don't have any skills in it. I don't know. You can try. Radiation Bob introduces you to Gertrude. It looks even scarier up close, all sharp metal angles and crazy welds, fangs that look like they slice through diamond. He looks at you suspiciously. Sure you know about pooters? That little tool you got don't look like no terminal to me. Reassuring Bob that you do indeed know your way around sophistically high-ended technology, you bend to the task, trusty pliers at hand. A skeptical Bob wanders off, asking you to inform him when the job's done. 10 minutes later, you feel warm. 20 minutes in, and you're so hot that sweat is starting to roll down your cheeks and drip, drip, dripping into the inner workings of the tiger. Investigating, you determine that the heat is emanating from the rear of the beast. Opening the hatch cover, one of Bob's hot bricks peeks cheekily out at you. That's funny because it's the animal's ass cheek. With a start, you remember a jury-rigged soup can, power cell full of plutonium isotopes. Bad. Disastrously bad. Disgusted, you give the beast a hefty kick and leave, searching for Bob to tell him that he'll have to fix it himself. Still angry, you wonder if you have Bob to thank for cancer now. That's a real shame. Kinda hoping you could help, but you're decent, alright, so tell you what I'll do. You hand over that fancy talisman hanging around your neck and I'll give you my shooter. Used to feed myself off local game, but they're all gone, so you may as well have it. Even let you have my scope. Why do you want my talisman? Saw a bunch of these up where I got the idea for Gertrude. Old jewelry and such on display. Folk artifacts, I expect. Some good metal in these bits. Use them in my hot bricks. Bob points at your talisman. Probably copper in that symbol. You get a decent price for it, sure, but nobody give you a rifle for it except me. He grins. Nah, you can't have it. Boy, try to be nice to a felon. What do you get? Kicked in the ghoulies is what? Best you left now before I lose my sense of humor. Don't bother coming back, neither. You ain't welcome. He hefts the rifle and makes it clear that he's willing to use it. Reluctantly taking your leave, you gingerly open the door in mine lobby. It appears to be empty with no sign of Gertrude. Don't worry, says Bob behind you. I deactivated her. Half waking, walking, half running, you head for the exit. Suddenly, Bob slams the door shut. A muffled voice shouts, "Feeding time!" Terrified, you glance at the alcove, expecting the tiger to leap out at you at any moment. It's time to run fast. Very fast. But not fast enough, though. With a wobbly mechanical pounce, the saber-toothed tiger is upon you, knocked sideways. Let's see here. You feel sharp metal fangs rake across your back, but you regain your feet and manage to stagger out the entrance door. You can hear the tiger ricocheting off the walls back in the mine lobby. Despite the pain, you run the length of the ravine, putting the isotope mine out of sight and out of mind. You finally come to a halt at the head of the trail and attempt to do something about the gaping wounds in your back. It's not the loss of blood or the flapping flesh that worries you, it's infection. Those fangs looked about as sterile as a bucket full of fly-blown moose gizzards. Great. How bad is it? A moderate cut. Okay. I don't suppose I got any good water left. Nope. I'm not really too stoked about using... Oh, I suppose. I'm not too stoked about it, but since they drew attention to it, why not? They drew attention to it like if I didn't handle it like an infection, something bad was going to happen, so I figure I'll just give it a rough go. Throw some alcohol on it. Purify it. I don't have any water left, so there you go. We'll treat that like so. Throw these back in the backpack. Not throw, I'll do it gently, actually. On this side, we've got a hot brick RTG cell. It's worth 250 bucks. What it's for, I'm not really too sure, but I guess I'll throw it in the backpack and we'll carry it along for later. No idea what I'm supposed to use it for. I know that if you hold it, it raises your body temperature, as I recall. It's like if you're early in the game, coming down here is not actually so terrible of a task. Don't give him your necklace, though. It's the worst idea ever. You give him that necklace, it ain't going to work out for you. I think there's something to the west of this as well, as I recall, like a forest or something like that. I don't know. I haven't been out here in a while, so I'll take a look. I think it's to the west of, like, the isotope mine, or that, or Gyges. I don't know. I just got a frog in my throat real fast. I have a lot of dealings with this random throat variant amphibian, and unfortunately, it tends to happen mid-recording. Strangely enough, all the time. Happens very, very frequently. We have radiation syndrome. Player has prodromal cutaneous radiation syndrome. Well, that's not good. Well, hell. Maybe I should ditch the thing then. I don't know what it's going to be useful for. I guess you could take the charges out of it. Does it generate its own charges? Is that what it does? Like a little micro battery that you carry around with you? Either way, I knew it was irradiated and I took it in my inventory anyways. This might not work well. We probably, since we have radiation poisoning, we more than likely want to head out to the east to Detroit. I don't really know if that's a smart plan or not. Let me see how bad the radiation syndrome is. I always have the wiki open while I play right here, and so I want to see if there's anything we need to do to make sure. I don't want this to be fatal, ultimately, since it is our last playthrough. Let's see. Radiation syndrome. We'll see how this lands. I have no idea what this is going to do for us. It says here that it gives you a... It's just a storage slot for charges. You can hold it to 240, I guess. I suppose. It looks like it doesn't mention anywhere here that... Yeah, it said it's not safe. But it says that it's only a slight burn from alpha radiation. So I think we'll be alright, I think. I don't know. It doesn't say that it's fatal, and there's no article on the radiation. It says that this is just a skin burn. That's all that it is. Is it on my body anywhere? I mean, if it holds a charge, we already have something that does that. Basically, I just need to get this somewhere so I can sell it for the 250 bucks is what I'm thinking. So I figure I'll keep it on me for right now. The CRS does not appear to be super deadly. It just appears to be like a moderate annoyance, maybe? I don't know. It says I'm in pain, so I figured that's probably what's causing it. Not sure. Either way, we need to ditch this thing. So since we're stuck here for right now, I figure our best plan, yeah, let's hoof it for Detroit, I guess, maybe, or the ATN. We'll ditch that thing off. We have enough stuff in our inventory right now to make a decent amount of cash if we scavenge along the way. I'm going to drink my... I don't really have much of a choice. I'm going to drink bad water, I guess, since that always goes well for us. And so bad water having been drunk, it looks like the game is lagging, weirdly enough. Not sure why. This game's been lagging for me the last day or two. I've been having like really weird performance problems with it. I probably just need to update my Java or something. If I had to throw an estimation out there, Java does weird things. I've learned not to question the machinations of Java. Alright, so now it is daytime. We should be able to get out to the ATN easily enough. We'll come back later, and what we'll do is we'll check out the forest, which is over, I think... Ooh. Poison Stage 2. Okay. Alright. Well, we don't have much of a choice. We're probably going to die right here. I don't know. I tried to detox it, but unfortunately it looks like we're probably going to have gastroenteritis combined with some other issues. My recommendation right now, let's get that inside of us for right now. Drink some tannin tea. That might help out a little bit just with the diarrhea. The poisoned half of it, I'm not sure if that's going to do anything for us, but if we can make it to... We don't have a lot of good stuff. I have enough bullets, though. We'll sell off bullets if we have to, but we need to go to Detroit right now in the attempt to not die. That's basically all we have going for us right now. We need to hustle for it. To hustle for it hard, actually. Channel our inner Ace Hood and just hustle, hustle, hustle hard. How far out do I have? We're pretty far out. The glow's going to be a ways. We might die before we get there. It's a decent plan. Yikes. I'm going to drink a little bit more water from right here, even though I know better. That'll help us get back up and running. After Poison 2, I have no idea how much quickly this is going to escalate, so honestly, I'm just going to try and avoid the hexes that slow me down and just make my way to Detroit as fast as possible. Once we get there, what we're going to do is we're going to sell off some bullets in the attempt to get maybe blood treatment. I don't know how to fix that, though. The poisoned, once it gets too far, we might need the nanorobot treatment, which would cost us a lot of money and a lot of goods, but it'll be worth it if we can save our playthrough. How far along are we? Oh man, we're still pretty far out. We might not make it. We might not make it. Alright, well, it's okay. Let's buckle down for a second. I'm going to try and avoid getting panicky here. Since I need to go to the southeast, we'll just keep on trucking. Can't really do much else. We have a flashlight, so once nighttime gets here, I'm going to do my best to stay on foot, because we don't want to go to sleep with this problem. We could never wake up again. It's like one of those worrying things. Like, I tend to panic about dumb shit like that. Oh, I'm fighting off an infection now, too. That's great. Do I have... Oh, wow, we got problems right now. We got real problems. Do I have antibiotics? I thought I had one, so yeah, let's take the Pharmacon pill. We can fight it. We're still in a position to make this. That's the thing, is we're not dead yet. We're not quite there. If we can make it out here and we can sell enough stuff at the junk market, we can make this work. But up until then, we're just going to kind of have to keep our nose to the ground and hope that we make it. There's the glow. We're almost there. I think you die at poison 3. I can't recall, though. Pretty sure you do. I'm going to turn on the flashlight. We're going to hoof it as far as we can based on what we have right now. Dying of thirst. Okay. It'd be alright if we can make it down here, I think. Player is now hungry. We're almost there. All we got to do is make it to the canteen. That's all we need. Just try and push this thing out real good right now. Come on. There it is. We made it. Okay, so first things first. First things first. We're going to open this up. We're going to take the non-veggie stew, and we're going to eat as much of that as we can, because it's only $4, and it gets you fixed up real fast. So after 3 orders of veggie stew, we're going to take off. And our next goal is to go to the junk market. And 2 options right here. We can either get a nano-robot medical kit, or B, if we can't find that, sell the hot brick real fast so that we don't have nasty, disgusting burns all over our body anymore. Take that right there. I'm going to start selling off all the stuff that we don't have a weapon for, so I'm going to start with the pistol rounds since we have so many of them. I'm going to keep the rifle rounds. I'm going to keep everything else. This should give us a decent amount of cash, though, I think. Yeah, that put us up to $2,000. It may not be enough, and I know what you're thinking right now, like, how would $2,000 not be enough? But actually, it's pretty expensive to get the nanorobot treatment that I'm thinking about getting right now, and I think that might be the only way we can get rid of it. For now, we'll worry about it in the next episode. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here at the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Neo Scavenger, where shit got real. Shit got really real, so I think we're probably going to have to figure out how we're going to deal with these cumulative problems. I will see you all later. I hope that you enjoyed this playthrough. We're not quite dead yet. It's still a possibility. I wouldn't get our hopes up too high. We might still die. We're not, like, out of the woods yet. However, the fact that we made it here, we had all these pistol rounds that we were able to sell back, is a really, really good thing. So take from that what you will. I'll see y'all later. Hi-do, everybody.